The dog jumps up, lands both paws on your sweater, and hears no before the visitor even steps inside. You move her down. She springs up again. You say it louder. Her tail keeps moving. Her front feet keep lifting. And now the whole doorway feels tense. The obvious explanation is that she is ignoring you on purpose. But this is not defiance. It is an information problem. You told her what failed. You did not show her what works. Let's begin. No is one of the most natural words in dog ownership. It comes out before thought. The dog grabs a sock. No. The dog reaches for the counter. No. The dog pulls toward another dog. No. There is no shame in this. Most owners use it because they are trying to stop something before it gets worse. But stopping is only half of the message. Your dog still needs a visible route to success. Missing answer. That is the hidden mechanism. No can interrupt a behavior, but it does not create the next behavior. If jumping is wrong, the dog still has to guess. Should she sit, stand, back up, look at you, walk away, or stay near the guest with all 4 feet down? If countersurfing is wrong, should she leave the kitchen, lie down, watch quietly, or move to another spot? If pulling is wrong, should she slow down, turn around, come closer, or stop walking? The dog cannot build a stable habit from empty space. And when the answer is empty, she returns to the behavior with the clearest payoff. B.F. Skinner, working in learning psychology, described how behavior changes through consequences. In simple terms, animals repeat actions that work and drop actions that stop working. You can see this at the front door. Jumping brings faces closer. Hands move. Voices rise. The guest reacts. Even if everyone sounds annoyed, the dog has still reached the center of the event. So if no arrives without a better route, the old behavior may remain the clearest path. The difference is simple: no versus clear route. One dog hears no 12 times and keeps testing the room. Another dog sees one visible route that works and begins to choose it. One side creates interruption, the other creates information. Information gap. That gap is why no can feel powerful in the moment and weak over time. It may stop the dog for 1 second, but the situation is still unsolved. The guest is still exciting. The counter still smells like food. The leash still points toward the scent. The dog's goal is still present, and the alternative is still unclear. There is also a body problem. Cortisol is a stress chemical that rises when an animal feels pressure without a clear way to succeed. In everyday life, that can look like a dog getting faster, mouthier, louder, or strangely frozen while the owner keeps repeating the correction. The owner thinks, "She knows I am upset." The dog's body may be saying, "I do not know how to win here." When stress rises, learning becomes less available. This is the part many owners never see. The dog is not refusing the rule. She is searching for the route that still works. The visitor is smiling, stepping in, carrying bags, using a bright voice. The dog jumps. You say no. She lands. Nobody notices the landing. Nobody rewards the moment her feet are on the floor. Nobody makes that moment meaningful. The visitor keeps moving. The dog jumps again. Now the owner feels embarrassed. The guest pulls their hands away, and the dog becomes more excited because the entire doorway is responding to her body. From the human side, it looks like disobedience. From the dog side, jumping is the only action with a clear result. 4 paws on the floor happens briefly, then disappears without consequence. Jumping changes the room. Behavior payoff. That is the emotional scientific reframe. Your dog does not need to be stubborn for a behavior to repeat. She only needs the behavior to keep producing something visible. Clear path. The point is not to become louder. The point is to make the better path easier to find. Before the visitor arrives, the dog needs a simple answer that has worked before. 4 paws on the floor can make attention appear. Standing calmly can make hands lower. Waiting can make the greeting happen. When that pattern has a history, the doorway stops being a guessing game. This is not about perfect obedience. It is about giving the dog a map. If the visitor is exciting, she may still lift once. But now, the instant her feet return to the floor, that moment has value. The dog can feel the room change around the behavior you wanted, not only around the behavior you disliked. A second anchor comes from differential reinforcement of alternative behavior, often shortened to DRA in behavior training. The idea is simple. Reinforce a behavior that can replace the problem behavior. At home, a dog cannot jump on a guest and keep 4 paws on the floor at the exact moment. When the floor behavior pays, jumping loses some of its control over the greeting. The kitchen shows the mechanism from another angle. You are cutting chicken. The dog appears at the counter edge like a thought you cannot get rid of. You say, no. She drops down. You turn back to the cutting board. 3 seconds later, her nose is back at the edge. This is where owners often feel insulted. You just told her. She heard you. Why is she doing it again? But the kitchen is not a moral test to the dog. It is a room full of scent, motion, and possibility. The counter is not just a forbidden surface. It is the place where the strongest information lives. The smell is there. The movement is there. The food is there. No interrupts the reach, but it does not give her another role inside that room. If there is a mat near the doorway and that mat has a history, the picture changes. The dog has a place where food smells can still lead to reward without climbing toward the counter. She can see you. She is not being removed from the world. She has a role inside it. The counter becomes one route. The mat becomes another. The clearer route starts winning because it pays without conflict. The contrast is simple. Counter edge, smell, risk, correction, guessing. Mat, clear spot, clear signal, clear payoff, clear role. One keeps the dog in conflict with the kitchen. The other gives her a way to succeed inside it. This is why punishment by itself can feel unstable. Punishment means a consequence that makes a behavior less likely, but it does not automatically teach a replacement. If the dog leaves the counter only because your voice got sharp, the lesson may fade when your back is turned. But if the dog has learned a different route that works, the new behavior has something to stand on. On a walk, the leash tightens before you even see what she has found. Her shoulders lean forward, her nose drops. The line from your hand to her collar goes hard. You say, no pulling. She pulls anyway. You stop. She strains. You repeat the word, and now the walk feels like an argument. From the human end, pulling looks rude. From the dog's end, pulling often works. It moves her closer to scent, grass, another dog, a person, or the corner where something interesting happened yesterday. The payoff is built into the movement. No competes with all of that, but it does not give the body a new route. A clearer answer is movement information. Before the leash hits full tension, the dog needs a visible change. Your body turning, your pace changing, your reward appearing near your leg, the path reopening when she reconnects. The cue can be simple. The deeper point is not the cue. The deeper point is that the dog learns which route keeps the walk moving. Stress block. Timing is where this becomes easier. A late no lands when the dog is already inside the behavior. An early signal lands while the brain can still choose. Feet beginning to lift, head beginning to turn toward the counter, leash beginning to tighten. Those are the seconds where information still has room. Stress blocks learning. When the signal comes too late and too vaguely, stress fills the gap. A dog may bark, grab, jump, pull, or freeze because the moment has become confusing. That does not mean she is fragile. It means the path to success is not visible enough. Learning works better when the dog can see where to go before the mistake becomes the only clear option. So the practical shift can stay small. Choose one no habit and find the missing answer underneath it. If the dog jumps, what does greeting safely look like? If she reaches for the counter, where can she be while food is moving? If she pulls, what body position keeps the walk going? Practice that route when the room is quiet, then use it earlier when the real moment begins. If no still comes out, do not turn it into guilt. Use it as a signal. The word means you found a place where the dog still needs information. Pause and ask the better question. What result is she trying to reach, and what route can I make clearer? That is the relief in this. Your dog is not fighting you. She is following the path that still works. When the better path becomes visible, behavior starts to change without the room becoming a battle. Map, not stop sign. A dog learns faster when the human becomes a map, not just a stop sign.